we can talk real quick. We talked about the top half of the Eastern Conference standing. The bottom half is not as inspiring when it comes to the play-in tournament picture. It's locked in. It's going to be Atlanta. It's going to be Orlando. It's going to be Chicago and Miami. It's only a matter of time before Toronto, Brooklyn, Philly are eliminated, and the Hornets and Wizards are already been eliminated. But I will say, man, tip of the cap, this is going to be the first year in a while that that meme's not going to be accurate. They had that meme of like the Hawks and the Hawks and Bulls being 9th and 10th in the Eastern Conference every year is like clockwork going back and forth. Hawks have jumped up. They're 7th right now. Magic 8, Chicago 9, and things are bad in Miami. They're 10. Any of those teams give you any type of inspiration to maybe making the top seeds in the Eastern Conference sweat a little bit, get the engines going early, or is it just, a sweeper or a gentleman's sweep we expect?
It feels like it's the latter of those two options, because like the Bulls have been playing really well. They're a lot of fun, but like they haven't been able to put together 2 consecutive. I mean, they've done it recently, but like, can that team really put together a full playoff series and knock somebody off, knock one of like Boston or Cleveland off? Like, absolutely not. Orlando is the team that I'm like, maybe if everything broke the right way for him. Like maybe if everything broke the right way for him. Paulo scored 40. Paulo scored 30 in 4 straight games. He's second in the NBA in scoring after the All-Star break. He's really like stepping his game up down the stretch here. And he feels like, I saw a quote from him last night saying that he feels like for the first time this season, because he dealt with that oblique injury, that he feels like he is at the level he needs to be in terms of conditioning to, maintain that level of performance for an entire game. I just don't think they have enough offensive juice. Like it really just comes down to, they still don't have the perimeter shooting. They're really relying on him and Franz Wagner. They're a really good defensive team, but are they going to be able to go toe to toe with this year's version of the Cavs the way that they did last year? I really don't think so. I think Boston would shoot them out of the gym. So it feels like, they would probably have the best chance. Like Miami doesn't have that factor anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, Tyler Herro's had an awesome season. Bam Adebayo's turned it around after a slow start. Andrew Wiggins has had some bright spots in Miami, but I don't believe in them at all to even make it out of the play-in tournament, honestly. And then you look at the Hawks, where it's like, maybe if Jalen Johnson was available and like, they traded DeAndre Hunter, like they were basically selling at the trade deadline, and now they're going on a little bit of a streak. I don't think like, maybe Trae Young will have one incredible moment at the Garden like he did with that game winner last year. Like he's good for that. Like he might be able to get you one win, but looking at those 4 teams, I think it's 4 or 5 games max for every single one of them. I don't know if you feel differently or the same.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, same thing. Like the answer is, and this is a common theme with what we're saying with the playoffs, and that's for a good reason, that you have to have a guy. Paolo has been a guy. He was a guy during a 7-game series last year. Trae Young has been a guy during a Eastern Conference Finals run, and even like the series that they played against Boston a couple years ago that should have been over maybe in 4 games, it goes to 6 because Trae Young is a guy. And unfortunately, Kobe White has been great, and I know I gave him the shout out earlier. Josh Giddey is figuring things out a little bit, but like Chicago, they don't have that. But I think that if you're a Bulls fan, you should feel much better about where things are than you probably would have even 2 months ago. Miami is just kind of one of those things where like had a great run, hit the reset button, start focusing on lottery, maybe get some lottery luck. Not a fun Cougar flag destination. That would be if he gets there, anywhere. But I would think that they would help him out and get him right back there. But the more they lose, I think they'll be 8th, where their record is at 31-41. So probably be their first losing season in a long time if they one more loss for them. So I don't expect the Heat to make the playoffs. I think the Bulls in the right situation could beat Orlando or Atlanta in a 1-game type situation. So wouldn't be surprised to see the Bulls make the playoffs. But other than that, it is what it is. It'll be smooth sailing, a nice little warm up in the first round for both Cleveland and Boston as the playoffs get underway.